Players are nothing but cash cows to DLS. Player experience does not matter to them. Every update, every new feature, every so-called event is designed around one thing: how much money they can extract before you quit. Be it the events like District Showdown, aka Wallet Wars, or matching in battle events which do have a pattern. And it is high time everyone know the truth behind the scene. Hey guys, welcome back to the next video. Some videos can be made very quickly based on what is new, like a new hero or a new event, but some videos require a little more work and in-depth experiments. This is one such video. It took me months to gather this information, and I bring what I found with a lot of responsibility. I usually post educational videos where I share my knowledge about game mechanics, like different gears, heroes, and other topics. But I'm coming to you from a different angle today. This video is about a long-standing issue in DLS, an issue which DLS will never fix. Because to them, it is not an issue. It is a deliberate design to ensure profitability at the expense of player community, and more specifically, the no to moderate spenders, which is the vast majority of DLS player base. Today, I'll present the reality of DLS event matching, to be precise, matching in battle events outside of Apex Warzone. Before I proceed forward, I want to mention that I have nothing against any heavy spender. In fact, a lot of my good friends are heavy spenders. This video is purely about how IGG exploit the DLS player base for profit. And I do understand that at the end of the day, DLS is a business. I get that. But then it is also fair to say that the players who make transactions with them are customers of DLS. And any business that tries to trap its customers in a never-ending loop to extract money from them is simply a scam. And what I have noticed and what I'll share in this video with evidence is that DLS has put its players in a closed loop that doesn't care about player experience. The only thing that matters to them is profit over everything. And I have checked out IGG's other games like lordsmobile and vikingrise. IGG does the exact same thing across all their games. It all started with some game-related questions I received during last Island Raid event, and as usual, I heard how bad the event matching has been for players. It was very bad for my team as well, but this time it caught my attention because so many said the same thing from different brackets. We all have experienced bad matchups, but we never paid attention to its pattern because matchup always felt random. Sometimes we get really tough match, while sometimes we get really easy one. And this gives an illusion that things are balanced. But is it really random? I used the word pattern earlier because there is a pattern here. And I'll get to it in a bit. There is one point I need to make first to tie it all together at the end. Look at past 2 years of DLS progression. The speed at which different gears were introduced. Hero armaments, vehicle and workshop, beast, hero with super weapon, survivors, beast chips, squad equipment, shelter ambience, and I didn't even mention any event or crossovers. All these are just gears. And if you look closely, this is one new gear item every quarter. 4 of these are high impact gears and 4 are low impact gears. Every time a high impact gear is introduced, it is made to be the centerpiece of the gameplay. Suddenly, no matter how much money we spent on developing the last added gear, we will start to lose in arena, battle trades are not good anymore, and we will begin to feel that the new gear is absolutely needed. There is one more factor that comes into play here, which I'll add in a bit, but why does this happen? This happens because it is designed that way. Most recently, it happened when beast chips were introduced. We all noticed how beast chips were made absolutely essential in all formats of the gameplay. And next in line, which we know is coming, is Beast Gene. And mostly it will be out in first 2 quarters of 2026. Now that one factor that I just mentioned is how fast the top spenders max out the last high impact gear. Top spenders is a group that makes DLS most amount of money. And DLS as a business knows this. Now what would any business do with this information? Simple. Make sure that these groups keep on spending. So they add next high impact gear item as soon as this group is close to maxing out the last added gear. Also I mentioned above money we spent, because vast majority of these gears are exclusively behind paywall. Now some will say that DLS added beast potential, beast XP books and honing chips in Hivemind and world map zombies so we can grind and make upgrades. My answer to this delusion is No, we can't. I conducted a series of experiments, and the last one was during Christmas event where we need to build statues, and one of the ways to collect required candy canes was farming 1,000 zombies. So I farmed 1,000 zombies of level 38, 39 and 40 only with a 5x multiplier card. And what did I find? On an average, you'll get 2.35 million beast XP books, which is enough to get one elite beast from level 28 to 29. Legendary will need far more. Also, on an average, green potential is around 480. Even elite beast won't get to level 50 with this, and the requirement rises as you get to level 50, 100, etc. And this is for one beast, and we need to upgrade 10 beasts in total for 5 squads. Now talk about honing chips. On an average, you'll get blue honing chips, 540 from the whole farming, and you'll barely get 10 legendary hones with this, even at legendary hone drop rate of 1 in 50, which is extremely lucky. Realistically, you might get 2 to 5 good hones with all that. And how many hone attributes we need for the entire gear of 5 squads? Anyway, pristine life and advanced honing chips you cannot even farm, and even if they make it farmable later on, the collection rate would be even slower than this. So back to the question, you cannot grind your way to any meaningful level of strength at all. And about the district showdown, game will be too imbalanced if a group of players is too high impact gear ahead of everyone else. This is where district showdown is bridging the gap with workshop upgrades before beast gene can be launched. And we see alliances merging because $20 packs give additional dices to entire alliance. But money is still needed to be spent for ranking and additional dices, which makes this a wallet war event. Outside of wallet war events, DLS is purely a PvP game. Every event, every content is PvP. And to fight in PvP, you need strength. Which brings me to the point I wanted to make before getting into DLS event matching. Strength in DLS comes from money alone. A player's strength is simply a measure of how much money he or she spent in the game, and all battle strategies begin after you paid for this strength. No RTS before that. Point to note over here, if you know a player who is no to moderate spender who is very strong, there is a big chance that the player 1. Played a lot in a very heavy spending alliance, or didn't build the account from scratch himself. Now, let's get into the battle event matching. This is where human psychology of satisfaction comes into picture. All the money heavy spenders poured into their account need to reflect on field. If this does not happen, they will eventually lose motivation to keep spending, and DLS cannot afford players to break out of this cycle. As they say, cash cows should not wake up. I'll cover Apex Warzone as I proceed, but first, Elite, Fearless and Budding Warzones need to be addressed because vast majority of DLS player base is in these Warzones. DLS says that matching is fair in battle events. Those who have been playing for over a year, you might remember the time when alliances used to unequip their hero armaments in hopes of getting a good match. And then came DLS's update where they mentioned how the might of unequipped gear inside the bag will also be taken into account during event matching. Now, keeping this in mind, recall your past 6 to 8 event matchings. Considering 6 to 8 events, a bigger sample size is important because anything less and you might miss the pattern. Did you encounter a mega whale on your map who is just too big for your bracket? Or your team ended up in a bracket which felt far too easy for you? Or if your team is somewhere in the middle, you can clearly identify a few teams that are just out of place. People even have a term for such teams. They call them food or fodder. Personally, I think fodder is a much more appropriate term, and you'll know why very soon. Now, how did this matching even happen? This comes from what I call DLS's version of easy to hard ratio. Now, this ratio will vary depending on presence of mega whale in your team. Chances are you were too big in about 2 events, 3 if you're lucky, and heavily outmatched in about 5 to 6 events, less if you're lucky. Now, what happened during these matchups? When we see huge players down in Elite, Fearless and Budding Warzones, we end up getting upset at those players and throw statements at them like, players like you ruined the event for everyone on the map, you got lucky with an easy matchup, you dropped out of Apex because you wanted easy kills from weaker players, etc. While in reality, Free-to players are the ones who are just getting upset. And since they don't spend money, DLS couldn't care less about them. Here, the target audience are the moderate spenders of the bracket, who did spend some money and still lost. They feel upset, disappointed, and even helpless. They realize that they are not strong enough and strength is needed, which pushes them towards rage spending. And this feeling gets fueled when they see their teammates being burnt by this mega whale, or they read insults in event chat. If you didn't already know, this is the purpose of event chat. And oftentimes we see region invasions after events because someone felt insulted and they wanted revenge. But the end goal of DLS is still the same. Keep the flow of money nice and steady. And if not rage spending, these moderate spenders are more likely to spend on faster recovery and a little extra on strength after the event is over. All this so they can be ready for next event. Looking at all this, if DLS really did do fair matching and take gear even from the bag into consideration, why don't we see majority brackets where these heavy spenders are matched up against each other? Why are these heavy spenders spread across different brackets within the same war zone? Because if matching was done in a fair manner, there should only be a handful of brackets where we see mega whales in one team and ruling the map. But in reality, it is the other way around. And most heavy spenders are good fighters. They really enjoy good battle. So why DLS don't want even the heavy spenders to have this satisfaction? Take a broader view and the answer is simple. It is not as profitable for them in long run, and player satisfaction does not mean anything to DLS. This pattern of matchmaking is done to ensure that most, if not all mega whales are 1. Happy with their strength, 2. They feel their money is well spent, and 3. Most, if not all, should continue spending. Also, as I said, balance is an illusion. These mega whales get a few matches where they are not the top players, and the moderate spenders get a few matches where they are the top players. This is where mega whales get into rage spending mode and moderate spenders feels that they are strong enough now. But all what happened here is, regardless of spending level, players are being manipulated to ensure that no one breaks out of the cycle. For DLS, role of a player is to stay in this cycle so money extraction can continue. Now all this is based on the evidences that I gathered. Look at these matchups. One team being too heavy and the event depend heavily on who they ally with. What do rest of the alliances do? Well, they are food or fodder, just placed over there to feed their troops to the mega whales, to make them happy, and we are in the cycle with our roles assigned. I raised this issue with DLS support on multiple occasions just to make sure I'm not getting biased data. As always, they can't answer anything on live chat. Heck, they can't even see the brackets. Over the mail, this is what they wrote. For Island Raid, they are saying matching is fair. For Archipelago Raid, they say matching is random within Warzone. So which is it? Fair or random? Because random doesn't ensure fairness. Or DLS support doesn't know the answer themselves. Well, the answer is again very simple. There is no third thing they can say apart from fair and random. And till the point the illusion of balance is maintained, even the player community won't raise a united demand. Everyone complained about unfair matchups sometime or the other, but how many times a sizable part of community demanded a change? In my experience of over 3 years, it never happened. And I think most DLS content creators have made at least one video about this. I know the Hi guy, that Panda guy, Armored GG did. I don't watch a lot of videos, but I know I'm not the only one who raised this question. This mindset reflects in their latest event, Jungle Crisis as well. Mega whales on your map, battle in arena format, numbers advantage from alliance activities gone, and all what no two moderate spenders can do is feed their troops to the mega whales. And we are back in the cycle. When this happens, are you really having fun during events? Or are you feeling anger or stressed out or just bored if you are that mega whale? Rest assured that all those are not DLS's concern. As a player, DLS gives you one choice to fix your in-game dissatisfaction. Spend money to gain strength. Players exist in DLS just to be milked for money, nothing more. I said before, fodder is more appropriate term. Fodder is served to feed cattle, and everyone is either fodder or cattle on separate occasions. But who is the master here? Who keeps us in this loop? Everyone can answer this for themselves. For me, As soon as I noticed this pattern and I saw that DLS doesn't give a thought about player experience, I decided that they're not getting another dime from me. They don't deserve it. No monthly packs, no healing packs, nothing. The only thing DLS care about is their quarterly statement. And till the point it looks healthy, they won't pay attention to the community at all. And more people have started to realize this cycle now, which is why we see so many players leaving the game. And new players? Well, people ask ChatGPT everything these days, and this is what I saw. Can't say I'm too surprised about this. Even the popularity index, it says DLS is in aggressive churn, which means new players are leaving as fast as they are joining. This is most likely the result of new region invasions, which explains why DLS added the special regions in the first place. It didn't come from DLS devs hearing community voice, no. It came because DLS is struggling to retain players, which is affecting their quarterly statement. So my recommendation is this. If you see a bad matchup, for yourself or anyone else on your map, take screenshots and flood DLS support with questions. Make yourself heard. If DLS expect us to pay for literally everything in the game, a real fair event matching system and stopping this cycle of player manipulation is the least they can do. If you don't speak for yourself or others, no one will speak for you either, and nothing will change. And most importantly, especially if you are a low to moderate spender, stop feeding DLS your money. Biggest portion of DLS profit comes from you, and you are the one who are being exploited the most in this cycle. And I'm already doing as I preach. Optionally, you can update your review on App Store and Google Play Store. Just post a more realistic review rather than a sugar-coated one. So many fake reviews, 4.7 stars, attract more players into this trap. I still got many friends in the game, so I'm still playing, but me personally, I'm okay spending money in a game where publishers respect their community and take their concerns seriously. DLS is far from it, and I am nobody's cash cow. What about you? With this, thank you for watching. This video was more of a tangent. I'll go back to my educational videos next time onwards. I really appreciate you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video very soon. If you like my content and find it helpful even a bit, make sure to like and subscribe. It is free for you guys to do, and your support would really go a long way for me.